Okay, good morning, everyone. Hello, how is everyone doing today? I hope you guys are doing amazing. My name is Ryan McCrary. I'm the CEO of McCrary Financial Solutions, where we provide financial solutions through entrepreneurship and digital marketing. So we'll be joined by a great guest in 1 second. I'll bring him on in 1 second. But I just wanted to check in with you guys, see how everybody's doing. Hope you're doing amazing. It's almost time for the weekend. It's been a very, very busy week here, trying to do the thing, trying to provide service to clients and to ultimately change this world, change the dynamic of people's lives. So do me a favor, when you come on, type replay down in the chat, type your name and where you're from. If you are a business owner, feel free to drop the link down. Check out your website, stuff like that. Again, my name is Ryan McCrary. So we're going to be having a great discussion today. This is for all the people that want to be highly successful, people that want to build 6, 7, 8-figure companies, people that want to change the world, people that want to change lives, and people, like I said, that want to be ultimately successful. So we have a great guest coming on. I'm going to bring him on in 1 second, but I just want to do me a favor, guys. Put some likes up, put some hearts up. Make sure you share this out. Make sure you type replay if you haven't already. I see a few people coming on. So share it on your personal page, your business page, your Lil, what's going on, Montana? What's going on, bro? So like I said, make sure you put some likes, some hearts up, put some comments up. Make sure you share on your personal page, your business page. If you have a Facebook group, feel free to share to your group so we can get this conversation moving. So today we're going to be talking to Dante Stevens. Dante is the co-founder of New Wave Automation, a home and smart technology company. He, went from side hustle to almost 7 figures, which we'll talk about. He's out in the Atlanta area, and also just recently started a new venture that we'll talk about that is also, ultimately changing people's lives and doing the thing. So without further ado, let me Dante, are you there?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
Oh,
Happy
great.
to be here. On top of that.
Happy to be here, and we're gonna have a great conversation today. So, I told people a little bit about what we're going to be discussing today, but before we even get to that, just let people know exactly who you are and what you do.
Okay, again, like you said, Ryan. My name is Dante Stevens. I am co-founder of New Wave Automation, which is a home theater, smart home, and essential tech services company. I've been running that company for 15. We're going on about 15 years in this industry. I'm also the creator of Elevation Pointe. The Elevation Pointe is a podcast and a Facebook group community where we inspire, motivate entrepreneurs and inspiring entrepreneurs to get out of their own way and get to greatness. That's me. That's who I am. But at the end of the day, I am an entrepreneur, and I'm so here and so glad to be here to inspire other entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to have you here. So, we met through entrepreneurship, and I think entrepreneurship literally is the best job in the world. It's one of the most difficult jobs in the world, but it's definitely rewarding. So, before we even get to the nitty gritty of what we're going to be talking about today, just let people know a little bit more like about your company and what exactly your company does.
All right, so New Wave Automation, our goal is to transform everyday houses into modern day homes by designing home theater, smart home, and essential tech services. We do anything from mountain TVs to any low voltage work, anything requiring telephone and internet connection, smart home theaters, anything in that scope. Like I said, we've been around for going on 15 years inside in this industry. So we specialize in everything regarding home technology. We're now 6-figure. We've been a 6-figure business for a while, but now we're scaling our way to 7. We're growing rapidly as a company. We're hiring people. We're expanding. So there's some exciting things that's going on inside of the company. But but if you guys are interested in anything or learning anything more about New Wave, you can follow us, or you can find us at New Wave Automation, new as in NU Wave automationgA.com. You can go on our website, check us out, and see all the amazing things we are doing.
That's amazing. So if you just joining, guys, I'm talking to Dante Stevens. He's the co-founder of New Wave Automation. I see a few people in there. Trevor, how you doing? Good morning to you. Lil's in here. So a few people on here. Again, if you haven't shared already, guys, please share. Please drop some likes up, some comments, some hearts. Trevor says it's great to hear. This is how we boost the algorithm, guys. This is how more people see this conversation because we're going to talk about big money conversations today. This is not about small money. This is not about little money. Talk about, I made an extra $5, $10. No, we're talking about scaling to 6, 7, 8-figure companies. And let me know, how many of y'all know people with 7-figure companies? Like how many of y'all, when you grew up, like that was the conversation? That usually wasn't a conversation that I had. So I want to change that dynamic so we can have these real conversations about real money. So, you talked about, growing to 6 and ultimately 7 figures. You summed it up a little bit, but like, what was that journey like? Because, that's something that I'm really interested to learn because not everybody gets there. I don't know the exact percentage of how many 7-figure companies there are, let alone Black owned companies there are. But I know, the percentage is not that high. So, what was that journey like to really get to, ultimately 7 figures, from, a side hustle that, became a main hustle, became 6 figures, now growing to 7 figures and, empowering employees and really providing jobs for our community. Like, what was that journey like?
The journey, to be honest, it was tough but rewarding at the same time. And the thing is, like when we talk money, like you were saying, we're gonna talk about big money. We're not talking about small money. But I changed that and talk about we'll talk about a big mindset opposed to a small mindset. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's being able to adjust and pivot as your company grows, as you grow, and as you learn more. As long as you continue to expand, your company expands only because you allowed yourself to expand. So when we talk money, we really talking mindset. That's what it's all about. So in the beginning stage, it was no money. The mindset at that time was just an idea, just to be able to come up with something that you're passionate about and that you can ultimately make money doing. And once you get that part, everything else is history, because as long as you're doing good work, as long as you are consistent with what you're doing day in and day out, the results are going to speak for itself. It's just now, can you handle as these results begin to unfold? Can you continue to go to the next level? And a lot of companies and a lot of people can't make it because they won't allow themselves to go to the next level. And the next level is hard. You know what I mean? Just to get from one step to the next one, it's always a little bit difficult. But that's that push through. That's that elevation point you have to get to the next level. So for us, that's where it starts. So it had to start from, it started from just having an idea and then being able to sell one install. And then once you sell one install, how can you sell another install? Because you can duplicate what you sell. If you can find somebody that buy from you one time, you can find somebody else that's willing to buy from you again. But it's all about the grit and determination that you have and willing to put into what you're doing to get that next sale. And then once you start believing in yourself and trusting in your ability and perfecting your craft and getting around the right people and putting yourself in the right situations, that's when the scales and the levels start coming up and you're able to build. So for us, that's what it was. It was just one guy in a truck going out doing installs, doing all the work. And then the work start piling up. Now it becomes one guy in the truck doing too much work. So now you got to start. Now you got to start taking. Now you're frustrated. Now there's a shift. And then if you really look at it, the money shift comes. The frustration is going to equal out to the money. You can make a lot of money and be super frustrated and unhappy because you're doing all the work and you're trying to handle this demand and this influx of work coming in, but you can't, and you're trying to. So you can't pigeonhole all the money. You got to understand, in order to be free and get to a place of peace, you got to start delegating. You got to start getting other people in the mix. And that's when you get over that $100,000 mark. So I'll tell you right now, if you're out here and you're listening, you're out here grinding in your business, look, I would tell you straight up, you can hustle your way to $100,000. You can be a 6-figure business just hustling. Just you on your own, hustling out here running, believing in yourself, doing what you got to do. You can get to $100,000. I promise you that. But bro, when you're trying to get to $500,000, That 100 to 500, different mindset. 500 to $1 million, different mindset. $1 million to $1.5 million, different mindset. You see what I'm saying? And I know that, and I deem that to be true because the people that I talk to, people of different walks of life, man. People got $5 million businesses, 6-figure business, 7-figure, whatever. Like in their mindset, they have to shift. That mindset to get to another money amount have to shift every time, and you have to be willing to shift. So I encourage you guys, man, to keep going. Like you can get to 100, but you got to understand you're gonna stay at 100 if you don't make that shift.
I'm on that journey right now. I'm not at 100 yet. I ain't get to 100 yet, but I'm on my way and I'm almost there. So that's the journey I'm on. So this is why I brought him here, guys, because he's dropping these bombs on y'all, literal bombs on y'all. We need this in a book, bro. We need this in a whole training course. We need this in a whole coaching program. But he does have something that he has just started right now. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh man, now we're gonna talk about my real baby, my love, my passion, what I have fun with doing. My podcast. Everything that I was just talking about is real things. It's real. You know what I mean? Nothing is fake about me and who I am. You know. So what I decided to do, I decided to create a podcast. I have all these ideas flowing in my head. I have all of these lessons that I've learned over the years that's just not for me to hold in and keep to myself. You know what I mean? I'm not a selfish person. I feel like everybody need to get to a place of peace, freedom, happiness, being able to push past. But sometimes we don't have the resources. We don't have the community. We don't have the right people around us to help us craft out those ideas that we have in our head to hold us accountable. You know, we don't have it. Like as an entrepreneurs, we are the most, we feel the most lonely. Like we are a lonely community. Because in our household, if you got a 9-to-5 spouse and you know, you can't talk about these things that we deal with on a day-to-day. We don't have that type of communication. They can try to empathize with us, but they don't understand. The circle that you hang around, your friends that you grew up with, they're clocking in and out in a job. So their mindset is not the same as yours. So that lonely feeling would be there when you really truly walk in this entrepreneur journey. And I knew that for myself. So I decided I said to myself, hey, I'm going to create a podcast over all of these things I learned for over my 10-year span, the good, the bad, the ugly, what I'm going through now, where I am right now. How can I help you to push past something? What did I do to push past those things and be super, super, super transparent with people who decide to listen to the podcast? Because I really believe that we're only one piece of information away to get into that next level. See, people think it's just this big old plan that you have. You got to put together all these different pieces to make one big thing happen. Man, it's usually just one piece of information that you're missing that your mind can't think of. And sometimes a coach or a mentor or somebody else who's been through that can help you push past it. And once you get past that, you can move on until you get to that next thing where you got to get over. So I created a podcast called The Elevation Pointe. And that's what the Elevation Pointe is about. It's about inspiring and motivating entrepreneurs and inspiring entrepreneurs just to get out your own way. We're the problem. You are the bottleneck in your business. You're in your own way. And sometimes you don't put yourself in the right situation to get around some people that's going to help you move past, push the needle forward. I say all the time, and I want you guys to hear this on this show. Sometimes it's not about getting the touchdown each and every time. Sometimes you just got to make sure you're getting a yard at a time. Take it one step at a time, 1 yard at a time. As long as you're not going backward, you know if you're getting 1 yard, you're moving a step further into the area, into your goals and into your dreams. So just keep that in mind. And that's what the Elevation Pointe is about. I drop an episode every Wednesday. And it 20-minute episode, just enough for you to go out and get your run in, whatever you need, just to get pumped up, get inspired real quick, man. And I'm trying to, my goal is to give you some nuggets, give you some piece of information that you can take away on each and every show that will help inspire you and motivate you on that day, that you can implement on that day and move and push past in your own life.
Mm-hmm. So everybody go to iTunes or go to, if you have Android, I don't even consider you, but no, I'm playing. Everybody go to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast, The Elevation Pointe with the E, The Elevation Point
Yep.
with an E. I just subscribed. Them 2 episodes right there is dynamic. He got some fire on there for y'all. He got some fire on there. I'm telling you. Make sure you tuned in. So check that out. You know, he got a lot of jewels, a lot of nuggets in there. Let me check the comments real quick. All right, so he says, "What's up, bro? Speaking good knowledge." Your comments has definitely been on fire a little bit. Somebody say you need to definitely. Man, Trevor says you need to definitely put that in the book because it will blow up. His wife and him just launched their book last month. I got a copy of their book too. I said Ryan is one of my business OGs. He always got high caliber people on here. Yes, anybody that's gonna come on the platform definitely has to be high caliber. This is my man for real. Not ATL doing the damn thing. So the next question I have, and this is a transition a little bit, and this is something that I didn't even tell you, something I just thought about. What I love the most about your journey and your story is that it was bootstrapped. So, you know, we as entrepreneurs, you know what I mean? We, you know, it's kind of different routes to go, you know, bootstrap, people taking on money, people taking on VC money and angel investing, people doing crowdfunding, stuff like that. But what I like the most out of what you just said was, you know, you started one guy in a truck. You hustled up the, you know, 100,000, but to get the 100 to 500,000, different mindset, team, different structures in place. I didn't hear you talk about, you know, taking on money. Now you might have, you know, something I don't know, but you know, what's your thoughts on, you know, VC funding? Some people say it's cheating. You know, I don't necessarily will go that far, but at the same time, like, you know, what's your thoughts on? Because you know, me personally, like I've seen throughout my journey and raising up like that, there are a lot of people that go different routes. People that are just like self-made, self-funded, you know, bootstrap. You know, we do what we can do. I feel like, you know, hey, because you talked about the entrepreneur and the 9 to 5 have different mindsets. And I feel like, especially in the entrepreneur game too, the bootstrapper and then the VC person may have different mindsets as well, as far as like we try to go out and get customers. A lot of people are trying to go out and just raise money. So they just talk about metrics. They just want to go out and raise money. I feel like that's kind of a different game. So, you know, what's your thoughts on that? You know, like I said, some people say VC, taking on VC money is cheating. I wouldn't go that far, but just what is your thoughts on the bootstrap mindset versus the someone mindset? I gotta raise money. I gotta go get money. I gotta do this. I gotta talk to this person, this investor, this person, this person. This person's like, I don't gotta talk to nobody. I'm gonna self fund. I'm gonna do whatever I can. I'm gonna scrape this up. And one customer can turn to 10 customers to 100 customers to 1,000 customers to whatever. We straight bootstrap. Like, what's the, you know, mindset that you would say is the difference between those two?
All right. So from my opinion, and let's be clear, it's just my opinion. When you are borrowing money, or going out seeking investment, to me, I look at that as a debt. You know, and at the end of the day, if you can't if you can't perform and get the sales that you need, at the end, you still got to pay these people back.
Right.
And I've seen where certain companies just on startup, they went out and got money, got a small business loan, all of that. Now you got that loan that you have to pay, and you're trying to build a company and get clients without really having a track record of the clients. It's like you starting out like as this big company with no clients. You know, you got a space, you got the funding to do everything you need to do, but you don't have the clients. So you never did niche down and figure out who your avatar is and who's your best client, all of that type stuff to make sure that you can guarantee that you're going to have money coming in and out of your company. So when I look at that in the beginning stage, I think it's too early for you to go out and seek investment. Now that may be specific to certain industries as well. Some industries you may just need the capital to get started. You may have done your business plan and you have a way to get the clients that you need. You did the homework up front, but some people just go out and get the money and then on the back end, they say, oh, we need clients or customers, and then try to go back and do it. But they can't get enough customers to be able to handle the money that they invested or the money that they borrowed and pay staff and pay themselves and keep up with the high demand of things going on that revolves around money. In my particular case, we've never borrowed money. Everything about my company is from what we went out and hustled and did on our own. And I don't know, I can't say that I did that intentionally. I didn't know no other way. I couldn't see me going to get a loan. I couldn't tell you, I didn't create a business plan. You know what I mean?
Right.
This business was created from I've never been, my mom and dad is not business people.
Right.
My mom and dad is 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? So my dad worked in the mill his whole life. My mom was a nurse. So that's what I saw.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this entrepreneur thing was real. You know, my action said it was real because I did a lot of things to generate my own income, but I didn't know that you can really do this full time and make a life out of it. So when I created, so when I had this idea to even start running a business, I just had to start figuring out how to make money. So it started just from that mindset. Like, let's see if we can sell it one time. And then when we can sell it one time, boom, I got juiced up, sold another one. And then as I got good and got better at it, I started adding other services and products and, bringing other things into the fold to increase the money amount. And eventually the money amount and the amount of custom clients we were getting, it super exceeded anything that I ever thought of. I started seeing more money than I ever saw, right? Then now at this juncture of the game, now you got to look at managing your money, because that's the other piece of it. Right. If you go out and borrow money from somebody, you may not manage that money properly. Some of these people I see, they go out and borrow money and they spend all the money, and now they hustling trying to pay a big bill back each and every month on top of the bills that you already have. So you get that money, you get a space, you maybe pay the down payment on the space that you're renting, but that's $1,000 a month. We'll just throw out a number. That $1,000 a month don't go away. So when that money that you borrow, when it fills out, if you ain't got this cycle going through where you paying them, still just paying them back with their own money, but you have an influx of a real profit or a real income coming in to kind of offset, then you're screwed up. If all that money go away, you still don't have clients, you still got to pay that money. So your company is going down. So now you're under stress, you're pressed, and money, like when you debt pressed for money inside of your company, you can't operate in your awesome and your genius. It just don't, like, you can't, your mind is cluttered, bro. Like, you can't focus. So what we learned to do in our company is create money management around your money. So I would ask you, like I hear people say, like, know your numbers. You should know your numbers from every aspect of your business, but you most definitely need to know the numbers inside of your company. How much money do you need to make a week to pay you a certain salary, to make sure your team is getting paid, to make sure bills are getting paid and all that? What is that number? For us, we had to decide, okay, look, for me, I have a business partner. So we had to sit at the round table and say, hey, look, how much do you need in your household to take care of your family a month? What's the bare minimum you need? I said the same thing to myself. What do I need? We figure out what that number was. That number got calculated into our monthly, into that weekly amount that we're looking to get. Then we got payroll. How much are we paying out in payroll? Preparing ourselves for payroll. We got one full-time employee, but we have some 1099 people as well. But that one full-time employee has to get paid every week. That money need to be planned out. You know what I'm saying? So there's things you have to plan for, and you have to foresee, you have to forecast the amount of money you have coming in, but you have to be realistic with the amount of money you coming in. If your expenses at your house is super exceed the type of money you have coming in your business, something is out of alignment. You can't pay yourself more. You can't pay yourself all the money in your business, and then now your business suffered because now you can't afford to pay nobody else. So that infringes on your freedom. That money that we put in that payroll account every week, that's for freedom. Every time I transfer that money over into payroll, I say to myself, oh, this is for me to be able to do what I'm doing right now. On the call with you while my guy's still out there making money. You know what I mean? Because if we don't plan for that, then you're out of alignment. You're not doing what you said you want to do. Entrepreneurship is about freedom, but it's not free. It's not free, baby. You got to set your mind right for that. So you got to set your mind right for that. So for us, that's what it was. So going back to your question, we never borrowed money. We use our own money. And then we take the profits after we know how much money need to go where. We know how much we need a week to make sure payroll is going. We know how much a week we need to make sure we're making we're able to pay ourselves first. We pay ourselves first. We pay ourselves a check every Friday, just like we pay our employees in 1099 every Friday. We're that disciplined with it. Then we also make a profit because we own the company. You know what I mean? So every quarter we're paying ourselves something. It's just being real, consistent, being true to who you are, and understanding that this company is gonna grow. But if you don't have a money management built around your system, around your company, you screwed up from the jump, whether you borrow money or not. I look at it like now, even if I borrowed money, right now, we have such a good money management system that we probably wouldn't even feel the effect from it, because we won't spend all the money at one time. The money will be allocated and distributed in such a way where we know it just provide and add as a buffer. The only way that money gonna screw us up if we just don't get no more business, period. But we know we can survive right now without anybody money. You know what I mean? We're doing our own money. You know what I'm saying? So, but you gotta be real clear about your profits. You know, the profits. I mean, not your revenue. Don't get caught up on these 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure companies. You can be a 6-figure company. That don't mean you can pay yourself 6 figures.
Right.
That don't mean it doesn't mean that you made 6 figures. If you made, there's a percentage of that money that really is going to be tied into your profits. It's good to say those numbers, 6 and 7. That it feels great. I ain't gonna lie, I like it. But at the end of the day, that don't mean you really have 6 figures in your pocket. You know, you don't have $1 million in your pocket. Your company generated $1 million in revenue, but after everything is broken down, what is the actual profit? And each week, that's what we work off of. We work off the profit. Some people get caught up in, hey, we got a $20,000 check from this product or this service we just provided. You don't have to. Your company generated $20,000, but once you break it all down, how much did the company actually profit? And that profit can be 10 grand. That profit can be 8 grand. It just depends on what your profit margins are. You know, if you service based, it may be mostly all profit. Yeah. If you service based only, it may be mostly all profit. But even then, you have overhead. You know, if you're trying to hire somebody, hiring people to do certain things. So then that's still an expense. So that need to be cut out of it. So you still don't make a full 100% profit. You got to make sure you breaking some of that stuff out. So that's my mindset in terms of the money. It's just your mindset have to be around having a money management system, whether you borrow money or not. For us, we never borrow money. For certain companies, you may have to borrow money to be able to do the certain things you need. It may be certain equipment you need, things like that. For the most part, we're service-based. So we didn't have to go borrow money unless we were just trying to jump the gun, go get this big showroom and do all this stuff that looks real good, that ain't really giving you a huge return on your investment. I ain't stunned at it. I ain't stunned putting my money in something that I'm just trying to make sure people think we're looking good. Like, we can look good, but I want to make money. That's the result.
Guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm talking to Dante Stevens. He's the co-founder of New Wave Automation. He's dropping some bombs on y'all, giving some real great information, how to really turn your hustle into a real legitimate business where you can hire employees, pay employees, get your money management system in tight. And I really love what you said, about the profit standpoint, because that's something that I always keep in mind, like you said, saying I made 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. A lot of these companies, these everyday companies that you see out here, a lot of them are losing money. Losing money. Like, people didn't even know Uber wasn't profitable. You see Uber everywhere. I take Uber all the time. They got billions of dollars, but they lose money every month. There's so many companies out there that's actually not profitable or have a small profit margin. But, we just talking about the metrics. Oh, I made 6 figures. I made 7 figures. Me personally, I'm always looking at that. So I'm like, okay, if I make 6 figures, we might have kept 50,000 of that cash. We got that cash in the bank and allocated. It's going into the, whole profit account, the OPEX account, the expenses account, all that stuff, payroll account, operating expense, everything going to those different accounts, making sure you have that money allocated properly. So, that's just important. With Profit, if you guys haven't read the book Profit First, it talks about a lot of the stuff he was talking about having different accounts, having, money, managing your money correctly, and not necessarily just with your business money, also with your personal money. It talks about that a little bit, how you can manage your personal money in the same way. Doesn't necessarily just have to be your business expenses. So,
Yep.
you know,
Money is a mind, like I said earlier, man. Money is a mindset. So you have to change your relationship with it. You know, you have to change your relationship with money, change your mindset around the money. And like you said, Ryan, I would, you know, I didn't get the chance to plug Mike McAllowitz, but Profit First, guys, every entrepreneur should read this book because I guarantee you, you're mismanaging your money. I've done
right.
it.
Right.
I've done it. You ever went to your tax man or tax lady at the end of the year and they said, hey, you made this amount of money, and you sitting there looking at your
Where's
account
that?
thinking, that money, you know what I mean? If you ever did that number, then you don't have a money management system. You don't have a system. And I can guarantee you now, I know each and every day where my company stands. It's all that's a key performance indicator for me every day, just to look at my bank account. Because I can tell all my money is not wrapped up into one account because you know you operate different when hey babe, you big balling when you got 30 grand in one account and you think, oh man, we good, we can do whatever. And then that 30 grand starts dwindling down.
15, 10, and it's like, then you back out hustling and, you know, trying to make the dollar and stuff like that. And before it was like taking on bigger clients. And now you're like, well, I can't afford your $10,000, $20,000. Like, all right, well, how much would you pay for it? You know, would you pay $5,000? Would you pay $2,500? You know, you scrambling again. You know, I definitely know what you're talking about.
It's a cycle, man. It happens, and it happens to all of us. But you know, and it's a mistake that a lot of us made. But if you could do better in the beginning, you will alleviate that headache. That's why people like myself are around, because that's what we're trying to do, is help you to avoid some of those pitfalls, because we've been there, and we could have easily folded as a company by making a lot of bad money decisions, and not preparing yourself and plan around your money accordingly. And another thing I would tell you too, if it's anybody out there who's looking to build teams, I would tell you to start thinking about your money like you had a team. It may only be you right now, but don't look at your company like it's just you. If I would have known that, like I had to learn that along the way, but if I would have known that, if I would have had somebody to tell me that early on, and I could have at least had that in the back of my mind, I would have, when I started allocating my money, I would have already had a payroll account, whether I was paying somebody or not,
right,
and putting money over, starting to position myself in that way to start hiring somebody. Look at what it would cost to hire for a certain role or a certain position in your company. If that's $15 an hour, $20 an hour, or whatever it is, do the math on that. How much do I need to set aside to make sure I can pay somebody in this? And if you can do that consistently, that'll let you know if you can hire somebody or not. Most of the time, we don't even know if we can hire somebody, because our money is so caught up in like one account, or so wrapped up in so much crap that we never really broke it down to see where we are financially. But you may be able to do more things with the money that you're making in your company. You just never took to, you just kind of in this little hamster wheel, and you're doing whatever. Every time some money come in, you're not consistent with paying yourself. You're just gonna pay yourself something today just because you think you got enough money in there. The next thing you know, your account dwindled down to $100 or almost in the negative. Now you feel pressed, got to make some more money, You get some money, you're happy again, you pay yourself something out of it, you go back into the same thing. But if you get in a routine of just paying yourself a salary, start off with something. Your company may only can afford to pay you $500 a week. If that, take it. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself. But if you break down the numbers in your company, it would tell you it would tell you the financial state of your company. So if you're only doing $3,000 a month in your company, okay, you're doing something. Be happy with the 3,000. Break the 3,000 down. Look at what your expenses are. See what you kind of left over with. What you're left over with is pretty much what you could pay yourself. You know, and then if that number is, I don't care if that number is $200 a week. You know, whatever it is, just pay yourself, and then understand now you got something to go off of. And as you continue to build your company, you can add more to that bucket, but you got to get a starting place. And that's the hardest thing for people to realize, because you'll see the money and you start thinking about your personal side, like, dang, I still got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay this, pay that. Your company tell you can't afford.
Right.
You can't afford what you're doing. Like, you can't afford to live the way you live. And what you're doing, you're operating off the revenue. You're not operating off the profits. When you start taking big chunks of money from the business, paying your household. I'm not saying that like I didn't do that. I did that, but I was frustrated. Like it didn't end well either. So, you gotta, it doesn't work, it doesn't reward you, you know what I mean, to do it that way. And you can't always look for the next big check. You know, you think, oh man, when the next big check, if you got bad money management skills in your company, it doesn't matter what size that check is, it's still gonna be screwed up. You get $100,000 check, still blow through it, and you be right back where you started at. But if you got $100,000 check, and let's just say 50,000 of it was profit, then now you know how to say, okay, boom, I'm going to allocate so much here, allocate. Because what you're doing is, and keep this in your mind, what you're doing is you're buying time. That is what you're doing as an entrepreneur, is buying time. You get a large amount of money, don't pay yourself a large amount of money. I look at it like this. If you pay yourself if you agree to pay yourself $1,000 a week, and you get a $10,000 profit that you can pay yourself, why not just put that $10,000 in your own comp account and pay yourself for 10 weeks? That buys you time. $10,000 into your personal account, that money goes.
Right.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? That money goes. But if you consistent enough and say, okay, if I got 10,000, instead of looking at, oh, I got $10,000 in this account, look at it like I got 10 weeks to buy me some time to keep getting more work in, you know what I mean, without me having to be stressed about paying those bills and stuff at home. So that's a mindset. You got to change the way you change your relationship and change the way you're looking at money.
You dropping bombs on y'all. That's why I brought them through. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to the podcast. It is the Elevation Pointe on iTunes and other platforms, I believe.
iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you download your podcast. Check us out at the Elevation Pointe.
The Elevation Pointe. So guys, with the E, the Elevation Pointe with the E. So guys, if you have any questions, First I was looking for it, then I was like, oh yeah, I got to put the E on it.
Put the E on it.
Guys, if you got any questions, please drop them in. We'll go to Q&A. Got to let him get back to his very busy schedule. If you got any burning questions, please drop them in now. After that, you won't have to pay. You know what I mean? After that, you won't have to pay, but just drop your questions in. So the last question I have is, what are some tips or suggestions that you have for the new, entrepreneurs, the new startups, people that are just now getting in the game, and they're like, all this stuff is just so much, what's the one thing that I should focus on? Of course, it's profit. Of course, it's customers. Of course, it's revenue, but, what other tips and suggestions would you have for like people just starting out, or people, trying to get to that next level, or, whatever situation they in, just tips and, suggestions for the new entrepreneurs?
Yeah, what I have to add to it is pretty much cliche what you'll hear from any other. I'm not a guru, but like gurus out here that'll tell you how to start up. I would say, man, first you gotta have an idea. First, just come up with something that you're passionate about. Think of something that you love, that you love doing. If you're passionate. If you don't, one thing, to find out what you're passionate about. So if it's something that you really, really like doing, something that you would do whether you made money or not. Don't make money the only reason why you jump into entrepreneurship.
Right.
Trust me, money does not make you happy. The result of the money makes you happy. The things that you can do with the money, the freedom that you can get. Trust me, we all need money, but don't just go into entrepreneurship thinking, I just want to make more money. Understand your why. Understanding why you even want to be an entrepreneur. Understand why you want to pursue that idea, that dream that you have. And then that need to be kind of your foundation. That's what you come back to, even when it get tough, when it get hard, that's what you come back to. So understand that. I would say for the entrepreneurs who just know they don't like working for people and want to just do something, but may not have an idea on what they want to do per se, I would say look at recruiters where you can just get into a franchise, do a franchisee model type deal. Find a recruiter that can kind of lay out some different opportunities you can invest in and start your business that way. That way you don't have to kind of worry about all the whole startup. It's already kind of set up for you, but you can jump right in and have like a 7-8 figure business that way. Yes, an investment up front, but that's what, that's kind of what you're doing. You alleviate kind of the startup part of that. So that's what I would do. So just find something you're passionate about, find something that sparks your idea, that gets you going, that's going to make you excited each and every day to get up and do it, whether you're making money or not. That would be the first piece. And the other part would be trust. One, you just got to trust in yourself and trust in your ability, and trust that as long as you continue to be determined and have the grit and the grind to push forward each and every day to make it happen, don't worry about anything else that comes around. Don't worry about people, negative things coming from people thinking, you're crazy, whatever like that. Just keep pushing, just keep pushing through. It's your dream. Stay focused on your dream. Keep pushing on it. A lot of the other stuff just gonna come as you go. But the only thing you can control is how you react, how you respond, how you show up. So I would say for my first time, people that want to start it, it all starts in the mind, starts with an idea. If you feel passionate about it, if you're in a job where you're making decent amount of money and you just can't jump out on this thing on your own right now, then you need to create a plan. I'm not telling you to go out and just like, I heard Dante today, I'm inspired, I'm ready to do my own thing.
Right, I'm just fuck my boss. I'm out.
Look, you still got to be smart about it. You got to say, okay, what can I do in this moment to at least start moving in the direction? Don't say you want to do something and your action doesn't align with what you want to do. So if you're working a 9-to-5, you're paying the bills, you're doing the things you need to do, then you need to figure out as an individual to say, okay, how can I start moving forward in my own business? And how can I create a plan that's going to allow my business to grow at a certain rate and get to a certain point where I can let this job go? Know what that money number is, try to put a timeline on it as much as possible, and then hold yourself accountable to that, and then carve out time each and every day that you put into your business. So if it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, if you got to stay up late at night just to do some things, do whatever you got to do to get there, and use that as motivation, that you work every day. You clock into that job and you hate it and you feel it in your gut, and I hate this job. That's like, and I say that from pure passion because I felt that way. Use that as motivation to get you where you need to be. So a lot of it just have to do with you getting out of your own way, getting your mind right, coming up with a plan or coming up with an idea, figure out what you're passionate about, and figure out what can you do each and every day just going to help you get a little bit further to where you're going.
He said it. Drop the mic on y'all. All right, let me see. All right, we got some questions. Trevor says, what advice would you have for starting a home electronics installation business? I am a business consultant, but I haven't had that type of client yet.
A home electronic installation business? Is that what he said?
Yep.
In what area he's trying to, it depends on what area you're trying to go in. So if you want to do installations, like I'm guessing if you want to do installs, TVs, home theater, stuff like that, more service-based from that standpoint, he want to know how he can go about starting a business like that.
He said he's a business consultant. So if someone comes to him, I guess, with that idea, what advice would you have for him, or should he give him?
Well, I guess if he's trying to add like a consulting part of it, it's just that I would say it just learn as much as you need to learn about the electronic industry. Like go to the trade. So if you're talking electronics, be a part of like things like trade shows like the CEDIA, CEDIA, get CEDIA certified, get into those things. Get around the right community. Like you got to learn the equipment. Like in order to consult electronics, you need to know what's out there. That's a part of our business, what we do as well. So from consultant to consultant, the thing is, I was the doer first. I did all the work. I did all the design. So I understand everything about how electronics work, how you put a home theater together, how you create a smart home, how you, hang a TV, all these type of things I understand in depth. So when it comes to a consultant, I can consult with you on it because I understand what's available. I understand what's available and what you can do with it. What are your limitations and stuff like that. So people reaching out to you for consulting, then you want to make sure you're really, really on top of what's out so that you can give them the biggest value. Now, if you're looking at installing this stuff yourself or having a AV type of company, you would still need to have the concept. You would still need to know how to get this stuff going, but then you need to then if you're not doing the work, then you need to bring people in that know how to do the work. If it's kind of dope, like with that, it's kind of, if you don't know how to do it, then you need to bring somebody in who's smarter than you that know how to do it, and then you just kind of facilitate on the back end and just set up the business structure. But you will need to learn some of the business terminology and stuff like that. But then now in that case, you kind of dependent on somebody else to be kind of your to be your know-it-all. If that person leaves your company, then you kind of stuck. I would say I would learn as much as I need to learn, make sure my feet are planted into the industry, knowing enough, and then bring somebody else in that's smarter than me. I always bring somebody in that's smarter than you, no matter how you do it, but you don't want to be stuck with them only one knowing everything. And Trevor, I hope I answered that question. It was a little, I don't know which way you was going with it, but let me know if I answered it for you. I can clarify anything you need me to clarify, but hopefully that answers something for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Next question is, would you prioritize a business or residential client? When did you make that decision?
Would I prioritize a business or residential client? Either
And when did
or.
yeah, when did you make that decision? I guess he means for your business. Uh,
Business or resident. Is it between a business client or would I prioritize my business client over my how would I
yeah, prioritize a
um
business or residential client. Yeah, I guess either
how would
or.
how would I how would I prioritize them?
Yeah, he just said
That's what you asked.
he just says, would you prioritize a business or residential client, and when did you make that decision?
I'm fully understanding the question, so I'm gonna answer it like I think it's like I think I hear it. So if he's asking would I prior how would I prioritize my business client and my residential client, or will I look at one of them differently than the other? I think when in business, you have to figure out who your clients are, what your avatar what your avatar is
Well, he said, do
in
you
terms of.
primarily serve residential clients or business clients? I guess commercial.
Oh, gotcha. We do about so we do about 80, we're probably 80, I'll say probably about an 80-20. We do about 80% residential, about 20 commercial. And we started out all residential. So a lot of our commercial work comes from like our residential side. So like our avatars, a lot of like business owners and stuff like, so we do a lot of work for people who are business owners, but they hold high profile business owners, people that want a simple life, simplified life, stuff like that. So our avatars, are pretty much a little bit more high end. And just by having those relationships, it can bleed us over into some of the commercial stuff. So a lot of our commercial work, we didn't go out and seek it. Like I'm not putting in a lot of bids and stuff for commercial work. We haven't fully focused on commercial, but just being in the industry, it will present itself to you. And then you have to decide who do this fit what we're doing? Do we want to take it? Because all work that we get, we don't take it. We don't take every job that come on our desk. So we still primarily deal more so with residential. We deal with more relationship building. So getting with builders and people like that, like gate openers that can help us on the resi side. But we're not like, we haven't just turned over and did strictly business. Now, if you're in this industry and you want to focus, you just have to determine which one you want to focus on, but you can do a mixture of two. Just know which one is kind of your bread and butter. Like for some reason, if the business side just took off for some reason and it kind of shifted our model a little bit and we saw something that we can really capitalize on it, of course, we'll come back to the table and say, okay, look, if we compare the numbers, the business side is really booming because people like XYZ. And I think it's easier for us to grow this way, and it's going to get us closer to our revenue number or something like that. Then we may shift focus and then start putting out advertising and putting out things specifically for that. But for us, it's still more so on the resi side. We still but it's on the resi side, but it's more so catering not just to the one just to that one customer. It's more so to that one gate opener that can open up and give us more customers, if that makes sense. So if you're in this industry, just kind of look at it like, what do you want? Because some people don't want to do residential. Some people only want to stick with business. And you make that choice. And he was asking, like, when did you make that decision? I think something like that.
Yep.
You make the decision. You can make that decision from the jump. Both of them have their pros and cons. Businesses are good, but sometimes they come with a different, just come with different challenges. The resi is good, but sometimes they come with different challenges. You just got to figure out which one you work. But if you're just in the industry alone, both of them going to get presented to you. It's just one that's going to outweigh the other in terms of where you're making money from. Because you may like the business side, but the residential side makes you more money. I wouldn't focus on the business side when I know I'm not making that much money on the business side, even though I can go do some different things to build it up, but I haven't found what makes that tick just yet. And I'm not just going to say no to all my residential clients just because I want to do more business. Now, if I'm starting out, you just determine what you want to do and then understand, like, okay, I want to do more businesses. I don't want to do residential. So all of my focus would be on business. But if you just start the business and then just, okay, we're doing some resi, we're doing some business, and just kind of let it flourish the way it goes, and then you kind of figure out what you like more of, or just see which one you caters to you more, which one is more profitable, and then you just kind of go in that lane. So I hope I answered that question for you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you so much for these jewels, for these nuggets, for answering these questions, giving us great information to the people. We got to let him get back to his very, very busy schedule. So I just want to really, truly thank you for coming on here, bro, and just sharing some information and, inspiring people and giving them tangible things that they can actually do to really get on this journey, really get to that next level. So I just want to thank you, man, for real.
Man, look, Ryan, I thank you so much for having me on. We have these conversations all the time, so it was only necessary for us to get, at least let somebody in on this conversation. Me and Ryan have these conversations, right. Y'all. Just want to we have these conversations, so it was only right for us to get on and do it. But again, man, I'm so glad to be on. I'm so glad to pour into the listeners, the people on replay. Look, guys, y'all keep in touch with me. Check out the podcast, the Elevation Pointe podcast. I talk only about entrepreneurship. I talk about motivation, things that are going to help you push past. So if you like the type of content we're talking about today, that is what the podcast is all about. If you want to know more about my full-time business, which is New Wave Automation, you can go to the website, newwaveautomationga.com. We are in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So if you're in Atlanta, reach out to us. If you're not in Atlanta, we do have some consultation things that we do for anybody outside of Atlanta that needs some help crafting out some of those technology ideas. So that is an option for you. We're on Facebook, so Facebook and Instagram at New Wave Automation. So go like us, go see, some of our pics and some of our work. And just reach out to me. You can hit me up on Messenger if you have any questions after this interview. But I'm here, man. This is what God called me on to do, and I'm feeling that promise.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Again, like you said, if you watch this on replay, just type replay down. If you have another question, go in, drop it down. I'm sure he'll come in and answer it. Or if you have any questions for me, feel free to drop them down. I will answer it. We can't do it without y'all, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope it was helpful. He dropped some bombs for y'all. So like he said, don't just go out and just say, F this, I'm tired of this. Go out and, get rid of your job and tell your boss to, go F himself. Go out there and make a plan, really make a plan, but don't just make the plan, execute the plan, get yourself to the next level, and just, make sure and guarantee that you are ultimately successful. So that's it for today, guys, y'all. I hope this was helpful. Drop the comments in, let us know, give us the feedback. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend.